Let's go. Hey, bring it up. Bring it up. Hey, there's no words that are needed. There's no words that are needed. If you can't get up for today, go home. Go, man. We do it all together. We do it all together, whatever the it takes, man. I don't give a what we got to do, man. Find a way. Dig deep and do it for your brothers. Let's get it. Gang on me. Gang on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Well, that was the feeling before the game started, and unfortunately, it just got worse from there. It was a situation that I have only been in a few times, and look, we've been beat before. We've been beat badly before, and even a couple of times this year, we've never looked this bad. And I'm going to get a lot of things out of the way before we get started. Injuries matter. Talent matters. Players matter. But coaching matters. Attention to detail matters. Game planning matters. Execution matters. So it's not just on the players to get it done. It's on the coaches to put the players in the right positions. Ashton Jeanty only got 6 carries. Okay. I understand that we were behind and we didn't move the ball very much and this and that. It just seems to be the excuse every single week. Well, we tried but this, we tried but that. You ask some of those Charger teams how often they didn't get the ball to Dean Tomlinson. You'll see. You ask the Philadelphia Eagles, how often do they not get the ball to Saquon Barkley? When you have a guy that's supposed to be your guy, you give him the ball no matter what. You find a way to get him the ball. You don't have Brock Bowers out there. You don't have Jacoby Myers out there. You're devoid of talent offensively. I think it would be a smart thing to get your talented player the ball. Find different ways to get on the ball. Just be more creative, man. This is the issue that we're running into a lot, is some of these offensive coordinators and these offensive systems are much more creative than ours. These defenses are much more elaborate than ours. I understand that we need to build up from a foundation, to break these guys down and build them back up. But how long do you need to break these guys down for? And it's a really sad day in Raider Nation. It's really sad. This is the next day now, and I'm still bummed about it. I think the thing I'm most bummed about is I know this year is done. We're done this season. Some people may have said, well, I knew we were done after the first week or the second week or whatever. I knew we were done. All these prognosticators, right? But realistically, we're not done until this week, because not only did we lose the game and fall to 2-5, we need to go 8-2 the rest of the way to get to 10 wins. Is that impossible? No, not impossible, but considering how we're playing right now and how injured we are right now and the likelihood of us moving on from some key players, it's not very improbable, okay? How rude of me. Let me introduce myself. My name is Soto. This is Raiders versus the World. Welcome. There's many issues going on right now. One of the ones that I know that the Raider Nation doesn't want to hear is the fact that a lot of our best players are gone due to injury. Who are the best 2 players supposedly on defense this season? Maxx Crosby and Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins wasn't going to play. He's still not ready to play, but we thought he was going to be ready to play. Ended up having to cut him. Then you got Maxx Crosby, got injured, was injured already going into the game, got a little bit more hurt on kind of a borderline cheap play. Okay, so you got your 2 best players that you're supposed to have during the season are not playing. Okay, that's a bummer. Another guy who's coming back from injury in Malcolm Kuntz is really giving you hardly anything this season. That stinks. Go on the offensive side, which is the troubling side, of course. You have your best offensive lineman out. You have your number 1 target out. You have number 2 target out. You're left with a number 3 target and a bunch of rookies. That's pretty much what you have. And you have your second tight end. It stinks, man. It's a tough situation. It's a tough pill to swallow, because we're looking at this team and if we were to be successful, if we were to be competitive, this team, first and foremost, we had to be healthy. We had to have a full complement of players all on the same field at one time. That's where you can see what we actually had. And if we had all those players, we may have had a shot. The first game of the season was really the only season when we had a healthy Brock Bowers and everyone there. We looked much better in the game that we won against New England than we have after Bowers was a shell of himself. That's how big of a deal Brock Bowers is to this offense. When he's not at 100%, this offense looks god awful. When he was there, looked pretty good. Now, we can't rest on that the entire time. But what we're seeing right now is a byproduct of having switched over regimes over and over and over again. It's not just the players at the top, right? The big first-round draft picks and the big money free agents and all that. It's not just those guys that matter. But the guys that you drafted in the 4th, 5th round, 6th round, the undrafted free agent that you developed over the years. But the problem is those unsung heroes, those guys that need to be developed, those guys that the coaching staff saw something in and want to develop that, well, that coaching staff has moved on from. So guess what? The new coaching staff comes in and they have their own guys that they have their eyes on. And guess what? The guy that was brought in to develop is now developing somewhere else and making plays. You get 3 or 4 times in a row, yeah, you're going to have a lack of depth in talent on your roster. And then we're seeing that now because when guys get hurt, there's absolutely nothing underneath. There's nobody else there to be able to pick up the slack. We see it definitely in the offensive line. We see it in the defensive line. It just so happens 2 of the biggest whiffs we've had recently were on the offensive line in Alex Leatherwood, first-round pick. Christian Darrisaw is right there. Guy's a stud, not on our team. I think his offensive line would look a little bit different if we had Christian Darrisaw on the team. Then you had, we could have had Jalen Carter, didn't get him, and to get Tyree Wilson. He's playing better, but he's not a first-round pick, not talent, not as far as production goes. That's a big hole in our team. So this is what we get to expect, man. This is what we get when we get regime change over regime change over regime change. And you have bad drafting, and you have to plug holes with 1-year free agents that you can't keep long-term. Because, look, let's say one of these 1-year free agents does really well this year. What's going to happen? Another team's going to throw a lot of money at him. So we're forced to do what? Pay a ton of money for a guy that we only gave 1 year to a year before? Sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. Maybe it's a 50-50 proposition, so we end up having to keep doing that over and over again. And it's a never-ending cycle. We have to finally cut the cord and get down to brass tacks. And this is a bad football team. It lacks talent. But what we can't do is continue to change regime over and over and over again. We have to build some momentum. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. But it's not just the coaching staff that's doing poorly right now. They are doing poorly, but there is also a supreme lack of talent on this roster. And the talent that we do have is hurt. So what do? It's difficult. It's not an easy solution. And it's not going to be easy for us because we have to sit through it again. But I think if we buy into the fact that we are not a team that can win now, we are not a team that's close to winning. We have to build. We put that in our minds and we bite the bullet instead of having to slap Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid on a 25-year-old gaping wound. That's when we start the healing. Once we realize what happens, like the alcoholic, right? What's the first step? You have to admit you're an alcoholic. You have to admit you have a problem. Well, you know what? We have a problem. And the problem is not an easy fix. The fix is not fire Pete Carroll or fire John Spytek or fire Chip Kelly or get rid of all these players and get new ones. No. The fix is stay with your plan, stick to the program, and continue to move forward. It's not popular. A lot of Raider Nation out there wants just heads to roll, and I understand. I get it. But unfortunately, that's what's got it to this point. The continuous head rolling, like the guillotine in the French Revolution. The guillotine is getting everybody. But the problem is you chop the heads off of all these coaches and players. Guess what? Those coaches and players don't have a way to build a foundation for the future. You're having to start over again and over again and over again. Guess what? These other teams, they're not starting over and over and over again. This Chiefs team's been together for a long time. They have a lot of role players who have been there for a long time who've grown through the system. We don't have that. And it has to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. It's never popular when to start it because everyone's always going to say, well, we need to better this. We need to better that. We need to be better as a franchise. And that starts with consistency. Okay. It's a pretty tough loss, man. I don't envy these guys' position, but a couple of guys were interviewed in the locker room scrum. Let's hear what these guys have said. Then we're going to start with Raheem Mostert.
games like this are coming, or like a feeling you get anything like that?
I mean, when you're dealing with a game like this, it just kind of, especially now that we have a bye week, you go two different ways. I feel like, you can go a way where, you can, after bye week, then it could continue to happen, or come after the bye week. And I've been in both situations, in my career where it was been tough the first couple games, and then going into the bye week, we made a run. So I mean, you still got to have faith at the end of the day, and I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping that everybody is going to do their due diligence and trying to rebound, especially after a tough win against a good opponent. The Chiefs are a really good team, especially once they hit their stride. I've played against them multiple times, so I know. But in the grand scheme of things, we just got to come together and can't waver and do everything that we possibly can.
Do you think today was more them or you?
I mean, to be honest, they did a great job, first off, with clock management. Time of possession was kind of unheard of and for them. But, I think that just having I think we had only 3 first downs, in the game is you're not going to win, and then on top of that, I think we had less than 100 yards total offense, which is another thing too, is a statistic that is brutal. So, man, we just gotta find ways, get more people involved, get all the right cylinders to go, and be able to come back, especially from the bye week, and learn from this mistake too, the errors that we caused against a good team.
A lot of people early in the year were saying the Chiefs just aren't the Chiefs anymore, but it feels like they're kind of coming together. I mean, do you feel like they're them again?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, in regards to their style, and Spags, I think he does an unbelievable job on the defensive side of putting guys in position to win and execute at a high level. And then when you got, guys like Drew Tranquil, Chris Jones, and some of the other guys, McDuffie, those guys are staples, and they know what it takes to rebound from tough losses, like what they've had in the past couple weeks. And just to be honest, they know what they're doing. And when they hit their stride, it goes, especially Mahomes. I'm one of those guys that watches him from afar, and once he hits his stride, he's unstoppable.
It was not a whole lot of positives, but you got something going in the kickoff return game. I guess
Yeah.
The special teams have been better the last couple weeks.
Yeah. That's always a plus. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, a loss is a loss. And it's tough to sit here and say, the special teams did a great job. When in actuality, we helped put our team in position, but we still didn't capitalize. We still didn't get that win. So that's still a tough loss right there.
Thanks.
Your opinion, what's your take to bring the team back after the bye week and all, and after a loss like this?
Yeah, we just gotta, I think we have a couple days until we all take off, and we just gotta come back and we hit the ground running. We gotta clock in, punch our number in, and find a way to get back to what we know, at least what I feel like we know, and that's winning football games.
I mean, Raheem Mostert's a supreme veteran, and he said it right. There are times where teams have rough starts to seasons, and then they go on the bye week and they come back and they go on a run. They figure it out. They get together. They use it as almost like a mini camp, right? A mini training camp that week off. They get back together and they figure it out. I think part of our figuring out is getting healthy, man. It's a really just sad situation that we're seeing right now, but these guys are professionals. If anyone is not on board, please let yourself be known. Please let yourself be known so we can move on without you. That's the mindset that I've been in every team that I've played on, every organization that I've been a part of, every business that I've started. That's been the mantra. Let your words talk now before your actions talk for you. Are you in or are you out? I'm not going to look down on you or look worse on you for not believing in the same cause that we all believe in. I can't force you to believe something you don't believe. If you're not in, let it be known right now. We'll move on without you. No harm, no foul. And that's the conversation that needs to happen. That's the first that's the first words that need to be said. Who's not in? Who doesn't believe? If you don't, just let me know right now. We'll shake hands. Okay, cool, man. Thank you very much. We'll figure something out. But if you do believe, it's got to be 100% in. That's the only way this is going to get turned around. Michael Mayer is a guy that was counted on to do some big things. He had one catch for 10 yards. It just wasn't good enough. Let's hear what he had to say in the locker room scrum.
We got to convert on third down. No doubt about that. Got to keep the ball in our hands. And yeah, we just got to play better. That's what it comes down to. We got to play better. We got to communicate better. We got to execute better. Yeah.
Coming in, is there any sense that like this was possible or this was coming? Like, there's no like indication of that during the week or anything?
No. We prepared for this game. We were going to win this game. Had a great week of prep. We're going to have to go back and watch the film and make corrections and see what happened.
How much more frustrating is it going into a bye? Like, you probably want to build some positive momentum, that sort of thing. Now you got to think about it for an extra week.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Yeah, you can't really bounce back the next Sunday with a W. You're gonna have to think about this one for a while, but yeah, it's frustrating.
And I guess just on their side, like they played like the Chiefs, right? I mean, like maybe a lot of people thought they were not there yet, not there anymore, but like they looked like the team that's been champion 9 years in a row in this division. Is that what you sense from them?
I just think we got to play better at the end of the day. It's about us. It's about what we're doing, offense, defense, and special teams. We got to look inward. We got to look at ourselves and see what we got to do better.
Michael Mayer is an absolute thug. He refused to give the Chiefs any credit. He looks up, and that was Adam Hill. That's my boy Adam Hill, right, from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Shout out to Adam Hill. He asked a question like, hey, do you think the Chiefs are back? And he's like, man, we could have beat these guys. We just didn't do what we were supposed to do. We didn't do what we needed to do. Didn't give the Chiefs any credit. That's a Raider right there. He ain't going nowhere. Michael Mayer's a freaking stud. But you know what? There's a spark of truth with that. All these guys are getting paid. Look, we were moving the ball the first drive. We were going to be in field goal range. We converted a 3rd and 7 to Dante Thornton for 13 yards. Put us in field goal range. But what happened? Penalty. That penalty, holding penalty, got us back. We had to punt. Okay. The Chiefs' first drive, they went all the way down. They were a goal to go on the 3-yard line on 3rd down. Mahomes had to throw it out of the end zone because no one was available. What happened? We had the stop, penalty in the end zone, brand new set of downs, touchdown. That happened twice where we stopped them on goal to go, and they ended up getting a touchdown because of a penalty. I'm not saying it would have changed everything, but you know what? If we weren't down the first 3 drives of the game, 21-0, if it was 2 of those drives would have only been field goals, if it was, 13-0 or 13-3 after that first drive, we would have been able to run the ball a whole lot more the second half. But unfortunately, like I say, when you have to, keep pouring it on and get those 2-score leads late, that's when you take the other team out of their offense, out of their game plan. That's what happened to us. We got taken out of our game plan. That's why Ashton only gets 6 carries. And, Ashton Jeanty was supposed to be a big part of this offense. And unfortunately, he wasn't because the score got out of hand. Ashton Jeanty was also a guy that spoke on a post-game scrum. Let's hear what Ashton Jeanty had to say.
Just a terrible performance by us as a team. Couldn't stop them on defense. And offense, we couldn't get going at all. So you're going to lose a lot of football games like that.
Is there any way to put a finger on exactly why that happened?
We just got to be better. Simple as that. We got to go back, watch the film. Can't point the finger, you can't point a finger at coaches for the scheme or other player for making a mistake. We got to look inward and look how each and every single one of us can get better to make sure that never happens again.
So when you come from a program like you came from, you didn't really lose very often and certainly didn't have performances like this very often. Like, is this kind of a tough adjustment to learn how to go through this kind of thing?
Yeah, I've lost before in my life, but, I definitely don't like losing. It's not something – I don't work as hard as I do not to do. I think anybody else in this building does to lose like that. So if we're being honest, it's been, a losing culture around here for a long time, but we have to continue to work to fix that and bring winning back here.
Is it almost a matter then that the bye's coming at a good time so that everybody can kind of recalibrate, or would you rather just keep going, or the bye's good for injuries? What do you think?
Bye is good either way. Just, kind of let guys refresh, let guys' bodies heal a little bit. Regardless if we won or lost, a bye would be good for us. But once again, whether it's a bye or not, we got to get back to work and figure out how to get better.
A lot of truisms, man. A lot of truisms by Ashton Jeanty. Couldn't stop him on defense. Couldn't get going on offense. Doesn't matter who you play. Doesn't matter who you play. If you play like that, you're going to look bad. And we've looked bad a few times this season, really bad. And, Ashton Jeanty said it again. We don't work as hard as we do to go out there and perform like that. And the biggest slap in the face, the biggest shock of reality was, he took a deep breath and he said, to be honest with you, we've had a culture of losing for a long time. And we got to work. The only way to get out of that is to work out of it. That's it. It's not going to be handed to us. We're not going to be, given the breaks as far as the refs go. We're not going to. It doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. We have to work our way out of it. We have to execute our way out of this culture of losing. And Jeanty's got the right idea, man. I'll leave you guys with a couple of things. These are a couple of quotes from Geno Smith from his presser that really hit home. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I know you don't make excuses, but you're down Colton Miller, you're down Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers. Is there a way to calculate what those losses mean to this offense?
They're great players, but again, man, it's the NFL, man. Guys got to step up. There's no excuses to be made. I'm not sitting here, when I'm out there, I'm not thinking about those guys not being out there. I'm thinking about the guys the 11 guys that we have on the field and how do we execute together to get it done. And again, we're not getting it done right now at any phase. And whenever something looks wrong, I tell you guys all the time, put it on me, because it's not about the guys who aren't out there. It's about the guys who are, and I'm out there. And I got to make the plays and I got to get it done.
What do you and the other key leaders have to go back and talk to your teammates about? What are some things that maybe you can point out to, or things that you're...
Talking not going to get it done, I'm going to be real with you. Talking ain't going to get it done. It's going to be on Sunday or whenever we play. Go out there with bad intentions and get it done. It ain't going to be about what we say. You can't motivate, these guys, everybody in the locker room has got to look within himself. And then as a unit, we got to come together and continue to come together. Tough losses like this should be a gut check, and it should make you lock in more with your teammates. And so we got to lock in more with our teammates, and we got to play better. When you don't get the result that you want, there's got to be some issues, right? 31-0, that's embarrassing, man. We put too much into this game to come out here and just, not have a shot. And, my heart's broken for really the Raider fans. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot that goes into this, and there's a lot of things on that field that we can do better. And so again, I'm not looking at anyone else. I'm looking at myself when I say that. And so when I think about the game and how we can get better, I think about how I can play better and how I can lead my teammates better and how I can play better on that field.
Again, another dose of reality, man. It's true. We're looking out there, and it's like, yeah, it's not about who's not out there. It's about who is out there. You can make all the excuses you want, but guess what? No one cares. No one cares. No one's coming to save you. All right? When you're really in trouble, when you really have problems, when you're really down in the dumps, no one's there to save you. You got to save yourself. You have to have the dedication, the determination, and you have to have that will to win. And unfortunately, a lot of times people look outwardly for things to grasp onto. It's got to be within yourself. We're hearing all the right things from these guys, right? We're talking about what needs to be said. Nothing needs to be said. We just go out there and do it. Nothing can be changed on this football team by talking. It's all doing. It's all execution. That's what we have to do. We have to execute better scouting. We have to execute better film study. We have to execute better scheme development, better play game planning. We have to execute all that stuff before that goes on the field, execute better practices, better reps, and then that carries into the game, better execution in the game. It's all about executing, man. The time for talk is done. And you know what? Geno Smith was very, very honest, and he said, yeah, man, I feel bad for Raider Nation, and I'm part of it. Because, look, man, this is our part. The players' part is to go on the field and not quit, not give up, and play hard. Our job as Raider Nation is to not give up and not quit on this team. If you want to quit on this team and be a fair weather fan, fine. I feel like I was born to be a part of Raider Nation. That's what I feel. I feel that Raider fans aren't made, they're born. And it just sometimes it takes a little bit longer until you discover the Raiders. And I'm not giving up. I'm still going to come out here and give you guys the content that you guys need and want. And maybe sometimes you don't want it, and that's fine too. You can like it, you can dislike it. As long as you watch and you're a part of Raider Nation, that's all I care about. I'm here. I'm still here for the long haul. If you guys are going to be along, It'd be great to see you, man. Just make sure to do one thing for me, okay? Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it, guys. It's the way to help the channel, and it's free. If you want to help support a little bit more, we have the Shield Society. It's only $5 a month. It's a membership. You get the videos right away without no wait for it to be delivered. As soon as I upload it, you guys can watch it, usually the night before. Also, you get the live watch party with me. You get to watch all the games live with me. You get a chance to be on the show yourself and give your takes, give your analysis live while the game is going on. And, get some perks. Sometimes I give you guys a little bit of freebies and stuff like that. But other than that, man, I need you guys to please tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody. Raiders versus the Royals, the greatest thing going in Raider Nation today. All right, guys, that's my time. Till next time, everybody. Peace. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.